Alan York. He is the play-by-play voice for the Liberty Flames on the Flames Sports Network. Probably, when you succeed a legend like Jerry Edwards, you always want to be the guy that follows the guy. Well, I think the guy following the guy is a really strong guy, and that's Alan York. Alan talked to me about the Norfolk State loss and about previewing the Montana game Saturday at 3:30. Here's Alan York on the Sports Buffet podcast. Always fun to catch up with Alan York, Flames Sports Network. He'll have the call when Liberty travels to Montana on Saturday. And Alan, this Flames team, give me the state of mind coming in with two really tough losses to Wake and Norfolk State.
Well, as always, Bob, it's good to be on your show and the Sports Buffet. But going into this week, it's going to be a challenge going to Montana. But we get to catch up with the team every Tuesday for their media press conference, and the team's just banding together like brothers, and they know that it's going to be a hostile environment going out there to play Montana, who's coming off a difficult trip themselves going to play Appalachian State last week. But, this team has had two tough losses at Wake Forest and at Norfolk State within, 10 points of each other combined. So, they got to cut the turnovers down, obviously, and penalties really had not been that big of an issue, even though there's been some more than normal false starts and whatnot, but a couple of turnovers that have been real costly have really hurt this team so far. And the tackling wasn't really that good against Norfolk State, which the coaching staff admitted. So shore up some of the tackling and cut some of the turnovers down. They should be okay. But the team's ready to go. It's going to be a new challenge for them. And if you can knock off Montana, and then it's another ranked Lehigh team next week, you can be 2-2. Going into the end of the month. So, big challenge, but nonetheless, they're ready for it.
Obviously, Montana's very well coached. With Liberty's reputation getting better and better each year, each day, each week, do you think they can at all fly under the radar, if you get what I'm saying, against Montana? Or does Liberty bring in we're going to get jacked up because Liberty's coming into our place?
Yeah, there's no more flying under the radar for Liberty. We're on the national scene, not only in FCS football, but obviously with the plans to move FCS when that does happen. So there will be no flying under the radar. Nick Delaney, the head coach at Montana, is going to have his team really prepared and really excited. And it's going to be a fun atmosphere playing in front of 25,000 fans at a FCS stadium, which really doesn't happen all that often. So it's going to be fun, but they've seen the track record for Liberty, winning the Big South 4 out of the last 5 years, and the record itself over the last 5 or 6 years is really impressive. So we are well respected going out there, so they're going to be ready for us, but we're not going to surprise anybody, that's for sure.
From a personnel standpoint, what's the biggest concern that Liberty has on Saturday?
Well, Bob, going into it, first and foremost, you got to tackle. They've got a great a tandem in the backfield in Peter Wynn and Dan Moore. Wynn is more of a shifty type of speed back. Dan Moore, who is 5'11", about 240 pounds, is your typical, he's like a fullback size, but he's got tailback speed. And I would really compare him to Mike Allstott, who used to play in the NFL, former Boilermaker, and played with Tampa Bay. So that's sort of what they're going to be up against on Saturday. And but they got a game tackle. They got to get 11 hats around the football, and offensively just maintain some drives, which they have not been able to do in the second half of the first 2 games. So they got to maintain some drives, get some midfield position, and punch it in the end zone.
Obviously, last week was a difficult week for Liberty with Turner Gill losing his mother towards the beginning of the week or later after the Wake Forest game in that time frame. How much did his absence kind of, affect the team, or is that just, if people want to make an excuse, that's an excuse?
That's just an excuse, and our coaches aren't up for excuses, nor are they up for moral victories. That did not have any bearing at all, given the staff that Coach Gill has put together. It's professional coaches that know how to implement a game plan, and they did that to a T. So it was good to see Coach back on the sideline Saturday, but the team was as prepared as they were going to be, even if Turner was there all week. So that's just for people to talk about, but that has no room for discussion in the locker room, I guarantee you.
What does Liberty look at last week offensively that they can smile about?
Um, well, I think last week the running game, Aldrecus Allen had 125 yards rushing after not playing in the Wake Forest game. I do think the passing game leaves a little bit to be desired from a vertical standpoint. Liberty has really good athletes on the edge, but as far as really stretching the field, that's one thing they do have to improve on. But the running game with Aldrecus Allen and how hard he ran the football is definitely one positive they can look at. And even in the last drive, when Brian Hudson was taken out of the game in that last drive, Josh Woodrum comes in and drives it down the field to get them within striking distance of tying the game. So after not having played much in the Wake Forest game, to see Josh driving it down the field was something to look forward to as well.
Final question for you, Alan. Definitely appreciate your time. Always welcome on the Sports Buffet, and always do a great job with the calls of the Liberty game. Give me one key in the offensive aspect, one key in defense, and one key in special teams that gives Liberty a victory up there in Montana on Saturday.
Well, I think one key defensively for Liberty is to stop the running game, which is not easy to do. Like I mentioned, the two running backs they have, you got to get 11 people around the football. And with our quarterback, Trent McKinney, he is a really dual-threat guy. Only a freshman, but he has shown that he can throw the football as well as run it. But if he is pressured, he can get rattled a little bit, as evident with his 3 turnovers against Appalachian last week. So that will be one for the defense. For the offense, like I said, just maintain the football. Don't if you can't get it in the end zone, just maintain the time of possession, which Liberty was not able to do in the second half last week. So keeping the football and don't turn it over, maintain some drives, get some points on the board would be the key offensively. And special teams, last week they had a punt return against them for a touchdown. So I know it's one thing Mike Minter, the special teams coach, has worked on, different schemes to get the guys in the right position to make those plays. And Kevin Fogg is always a threat if they kick to him to return one, as they did last week as well. So, Montana's got 2 freshman kickers, and for the most part, Liberty's kickers are new too. John Lunsford is a freshman place kicker, and Grant Bowden is a junior, but he hasn't had much experience either. So the kicking game's going to be real important on Saturday, Bob, but the Flames definitely have to maintain the football, drive it down the field, and get 11 hats around the football defensively.
Alan, always fun catching up with you. Can't wait till we can do it again and have a good call on Saturday up there in Montana.
All right, Bob, say hello to all our friends back in Lynchburg. We're jumping from airport to airport right now, but we'll be in Missoula here this afternoon.
Well, good luck, Alan, and safe travels.
You bet. Thanks, Bob.